One of the things that God uh, does with me is that He allows me to apostolically watch and veer into the future to see how the enemy is going to come and to see how to guard and protect our wealth, our blessings, our success, our stamina, our wellness in Him. And I'm not going to read the entire blog, but there are two significant parts of the blog that I want to address because I believe they are very significant. And then the other ones you can read on your own. But one of the things that God showed me as I was praying and just in my dream realm is a spirit that operates like a stingray. And a stingray is a sharp like um, um, it's kind of like a shark. It's in the in that type of animal type kingdom, but it has a long sting on it, a long tail that it stings. And the definition of a stingray is any of the rays, especially of the family of Dacetai, having a long, flexible tail armed near the base of a strong, it's like a bony spine with which they can inflict painful wounds. And I really encourage you to go on YouTube and actually look up a stingray video and just listen to how it operates. I was fascinated after I had the dream that I had, and then I went on and I was able to see how a stingray maneuvers through the waters and how it camouflages itself under the sand so that it cannot be attacked, but also so that it can attack others, and how even some of the stingrays, their coating, their skin actually changes with whatever they're camouflaging with. And it is so interesting. And so what they do is they wait till their prey comes around them, and then because you can't see them, they pull up out of the water really fast and they pounce on top of it and bring that other animal up under it. And so when you think about how this spirit attacks us, it's around us. We thinking that somebody that's going to sting us would be an enemy, and yes, that is true, what have you. But we're talking about familiar spirits. We're talking about something that's in the waters with us, in the fight with us, and then also, we're talking about something that's camouflaging and coming in as a counterfeit to attack us. And then with the stingray, one of the ways that it uses its sting is if it feels blocked in, if it feels guarded, if it feels like danger or what have you, and then even if it feels like it can't not pounce up on its prey, then it releases the stingray. And what it's releasing is like a venomous type of fluid into your body where you have major pain. Okay, and then as it inflicts you, it says that when I was reading about it and watching some of the videos, it says that that it's not always fatal unless it hits the heart. Come on now. So, one of the things the enemy is going to try to do is steal, kill, and destroy us, take us out. And so, one of the things I saw is how this spirit was going to try to come for the heart. And even in my dream, it was trying to attack me around the legs so that it could pull me down to attack my heart. And of course, that didn't happen because I ended up coming up out of that dream before the attack occurred. But in the dream, I kept telling the person who had the stingray in their hand this thing is dangerous. You need to get it out of here, So I was already discerning. But right now, everything looks like God, sounds like God, sounds right, aligns with what we want or what we feel should be happening and occurring, aligns to bring comfort to our fears. And so we don't really know how to be discerning of the stingray, because the stingray looks like God, but it's really a counterfeit, a form of godliness. And it is so important in this season to be discerning, to not give in to calling right good, right wrong, and wrong right, good bad, and bad wrong. The Bible is the Bible. The principles of the Lord are the principles of the Lord. And the more lukewarm you are, the more it waters down your ability to detect danger and to detect the devil, because anytime that you are becoming lukewarm, you are opening the door to stingrays being able to come around you and swim and bring anything into your life or what have you. And so the way that this spirit is going to attack it, just even in these next 6 months to try to come for us, is so it's going to inflict trauma. It's going to inflict trauma, and then even try to take people out with just emotional heart pain and literally physical heart pain. And so it is vital to recognize it, and even to search it out. Have I already encountered a spirit of the stingray, even in this last month or what have you? And ask God to just give you a keen this discernment for it. I'm gonna read some things from the blog. One of the things that I saw about the stingray spirit is that it was going to come to bring bondage that is 7 times stronger while striking its heart blow. So it was going to come to operate in familiarity, to try to draw you back to things that God has already delivered and healed you from, and have you operating in roles and just behaviors that God had already healed you from. And then as that stingray hit, it was literally going to bring a 7 times stronger oppression upon you as it pounces. And so you even got to think about, is there some open doors in my life where the enemy is already trying to get me to operate in certain ways that God has delivered me from? I have closed those doors, and making sure that you get out in this season, because this spirit is really wanting to bring a stronger stronghold upon you, 7 times stronger, where you just are oppressed in an even greater way. And it's going to be like digging yourself from up out of the sands of the waters, of the ocean, to literally get from under the oppression of it. I see a lot of people needing to make decisions about a stingray that has already operating in their lives. I saw that in the spirit or what have you. And people are right on the brink of coming under that stronghold of sevenfold. And, God is releasing this warning to say, make decisions, set boundaries, because if you don't, the stingray is hanging out in your sand, acting like it's part of your foundation, acting like it's part of your vision, acting like it's part of your life and your destiny, acting like it's part of the people that love you in relationship and have your best interests at heart. But it doesn't. Okay. And then when we think about an animal is just operating the way that they have been created to operate. And so we want to try to save a stingray, but the stingray is going to be what the stingray is going to be. Okay, and so you can try to pet the stingray, you could try to deliver the stingray, and all of these things. And God is saying none of that. God is saying make a decision about the stingray. Okay, make a decision about that which is operating like it's part of what He is doing in your life, when really it just inflicts pain on you. And even when we think about people, sometimes they're not intentionally striving to inflict pain, but because they are in trauma, and they carry the stingray spirit. And so they're just inflicting pain and trauma on you because they are carrying that stingray spirit and don't have the ability to or the tools, or not taking the time to be delivered and healed, so that they won't carry that tail upon their lives. And so are you going to keep allowing somebody else's trauma to inflict pain upon you and camouflage in your life, where it act like it's going where you're going? It act like it's supposed to be where you are, but it's there to inflict pain. And that final blow is going to come to try to take you out, really take your heart out, where you are like spending months and years coming from up under something that you already have been delivered from. I just wanted to share that. One of the other things that I saw is that the stingray is going to inflict further pain on unhealed trauma wounds. And so it's so very important to get delivered from trauma in this season. Whatever trauma you have, trauma from relationships, trauma from childhood, trauma from parents, grandparents, father, mother, or what have you. We keep thinking that the world is going to get better. The Bible says that the world is going to have tribulation. The Bible lets us know that this world is not going to get better, but we will have peace in the world. We are the answer to the world. Does our prayers impact the world? Yes, they do. But our prayers is not going to change the world from getting as raunchy as they going to be, okay, and as wretched as they're going to be. They are, that is what the world, that the world is, the world is the world. And then the enemy has been released to be messy, okay, or what have you. And so when we start to put our values and laws, and we're so angry about all these things that are happening in the world, and acting like we're going to change the world, what have you. Some people may have that level of mandate in those certain arenas in the world, but if that is not your mandate, it is so important to stay focused. And then also to understand that the world is going to be the world, but the best way that you can impact the world is to release the destiny and vision that is upon your life. And then as you are doing that, be able to sustain in it. Well, there is so much shifting and about branding, bringing in new paradigms. God is not in the church, four walls of the church anymore. He's on the out, and believe me, I preach it. I was already doing it before we got into it, or what have you. But if you are not well in your soul, your heart, and mind, this world and what's coming in this world is going to shake you and have you bowed over and not be able to sustain in whatever it is you are building. It is so important to get healed. It's so important to recognize what's going on in your life, admit that you need help, and get the help that you need, whether that be counseling, deliverance, inner healing, a coach, a mentor that can navigate with you through life. I have a mentor, or whatever. I don't talk to her every day. I don't even talk to her every week. or what have you. But I know when to pick that phone up. Yesterday, I said, mentor, can I talk to you for a moment? She was right there. I hadn't talked to her in months. She is right there walking with me, treading with me. I can text her at any time and say, I need prayer for this. She's right on it, or what have you. And she walked with me in life, and it's closer in times and seasons, but she is right there. And when she speaks to me, I know I'm hearing from God, and I need to adhere to what she is saying and imparting into my life. And so, and then I have an overseer who, helps me with my apostolic walk, helps govern my soul helps me fight the principalities and powers that I am that I am mandated and called to. And so who is helping you to navigate, and do you trust their voice or what have you? And then do you trust when they say you need healing, you need deliverance, you need a humbling, you need, or what? Do you trust that? That is going to be so key, because the world is going to tell you you're great. The world is going to tell you you don't need to change anything. The world is going to tell you to do you. Okay, and that's what's being released out into the atmosphere. And so we're coated in that instead of the truth and armor of the Lord. We will act like these wounds don't mean anything. We will act like, the triggers that we have from what grandma did 25 years ago don't mean anything. We will act like us crying when somebody else telling their story, and we know that we can identify with what they're going through, and our soul is bleeding on the inside. No, I'm just bleeding for them. It's just my compassion. No, you need healing. And if you don't get healing, this stingray spirit is going to come to cause that wound to be, tumultuous. And so it is so very important to recognize that, and to be mindful of how the enemy is going to come, and to know that those wounds are open doors, or they're just laying dormant, waiting for, and the enemy is just waiting for appointed time to strike you, or what have you. And I'm telling you, he's striking very keenly in this season, and very subtly, because remember I said the stingray is a counterfeit. It's hanging out with you. It doesn't know that, it knows, but you don't really know that it's there unless you're discerning. And so it's hanging out, looking like it's a part of the sand, looking like it's a part of the water, or wherever it is that it is, the rocks, it's hanging out. It's just the devil looking for an appointed time to strike you, or whatever, and to inflict that further pain, bring 7 times stronger, whatever it is that you have endured. And then, where you would just be so pained in your heart, you just, so in the spirit, I see this so strongly. So I just wanted to share what I was seeing. But I encourage you to read the blog and share the blog, because this is definitely an apostolic watchword for the body of Christ. And so many times we're getting blessings, we're getting words of blessings and breakthrough, and those words are needful and important, but you cannot govern those words unless you know how the enemy is going to come. There is 2 sides to every venture. So for myself, the prophets in my ministry and the visionaries, they get a lot of the blessing words, and I get a lot of the, hey, the devil around there about to snatch your bag of blessings, or what have you. And I'm perfectly okay with that, because if you can't sustain in the blessings, then what's the point? If you only gonna have the blessing for 5 minutes because a stingray about to come snatch and take you down, what's the point? So, what have you. So even if you have this calling, get in place, because we need you on the walls, sounding the alarm, so that we can actually succeed in what God is telling us to do. And we cannot succeed without watchmen. So that is what I wanted to share.